Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Game Reviews. Tonight, we're going to talk about GTFO. GTFO is a survival horror first-person cooperative shooter. Basically, the game was developed by Swedish indie studio 10 Chambers Collective and also published by them. It's been in early access for quite a while, I think since around this time in 2019, but it just most recently released December 10th, 2021, came out of full alpha and it's full build 1.0 now, basically on Windows, Microsoft Windows, pretty much. Nothing else. It's designed to be a 4-player co-op, horror shooter cooperative game. They have, with the current build, released it to where they got bots in there now, so you can run, kind of single player. It's obviously bots are never going to be a good replacement for people. But it's finally out of early access, and so we're going to review it as a full game. We'll just kind of delve into it. And, first of all, I guess the game is called GTFO. Its tagline is work together or die together. And we'll just kind of get right into it. Nick, what do you think about your initial review of this game?
Well, you better work together or you will die together. This game can be difficult, but it's a lot of fun. I really like it. And we started playing it. We played it a bit when it was in early access. I don't remember which version. But, at that time, like you said, they didn't have bots. So, if you had like 3 friends, it was just you and 2 others, that's all you were running with. And you really do need a team of 4. You could definitely do it with a team of 3. You could probably even do it by yourself, but it would take a very long time because even with a full team, you're slow rolling through everything. Otherwise, you're going to be overwhelmed with enemies and stuff. But yeah, the game is really cool. You have 4 kind of, there's 4 characters, but you have basically you can pretty much select any type of weapon layout that you want. And, they have your typical pistols and shotguns and assault rifles and different tool kits. And the tools are pretty cool. I think a lot of them are pretty neat. The tools that they have, you have like auto sentries and you have mine dispensers that put mines out and stuff like that. Basically, you're just kind of, you're dumped into this underground chasm or this underground whatever it is. I'm not sure, like underground laboratory or something. And you're basically told to gather something or to get something, and you kind of traverse through the level and get those items while there's enemies down there. And, those enemies can be, well, it's not really scary per se, even though you are in the dark. It can be intense because some enemies you just won't know they're there. You got to be sneaky. You got to sneak up on them, or they'll activate them, and then you activate everybody in the area. And when that happens, all hell breaks loose, basically. And you don't have you don't have a lot of health either. You gotta basically start killing and start doing headshots and taking them out. Otherwise, they can overrun your team pretty quickly. So, but all in all, I think it's a great game. It's a really fun game, especially if you have a friend, 4 friends to go in with it. The game does have matchmaking, so if you don't have enough friends, you can definitely matchmake. Or like Patrick said, if you have 3 friends, like we had when we were playing it, the 4th person was a bot, so you could still go that way. But ultimately, I really like it. I really enjoy it. What about you, Pat?
Yeah, it is extremely difficult, and I will say that it is very difficult. It's one of the more difficult games that I've played. You're not going to run and gun this game. If you are, you're going to get yourself and your friends killed in the game. There's lots of it's kind of an odd mechanic, right? I mean, you're a bunch of prisoners, and the warden's sending you down these rundowns, and they keep when we started playing, the rundown was only it was very short. I mean, I think there was 4 or 5, and now. And from what I understand, the rundowns are going to continue to change, because I believe the patch right before this one had A, B, C, D, and E, and now there's only A, B, C, and D level sectors. I think when we were in there, I don't remember seeing an E. And then there's like subsectors for that. So like B has 2, A has 1, C has 1 or 2, and then some have 3 and some have 4. And they change a little bit, because I remember when you and I were playing in early alpha, we had to carry this huge ass thing like way down a hallway and try to plug it in. And in this one, it's like, oh, just, there's a really tiny thing you got to go get and carry and without giving too much away. But yeah, you got all kinds of different ways to approach it, but really it's a stealth game, however you want to place it. I mean, because the creatures down in these wells can pretty much hear you if you move around too much. They can sense the light from your flashlights. You're running around in the dark a lot looking for just these enemies to sneak up on them and bash them with your melee weapon, because none of the weapons have silencers on them. Your melee weapon is the only thing that's really silent. Everything else makes noise and drags everything to you. So it's like, well, are we going to make a last stand here? Or are we going to go in all silently and kill stuff? And so that's where it kind of plays in with, you need 4 friends, you and 3 other friends to make a 4-player party to make this game really work. With bots, it's doable. Me and Nick both played quite a bit. We played with Shane, and then we also played with 2 bots. And you can control the bots, which is kind of nice. You can tell them to throw down their toolkits. And toolkits are things like, foam launchers, slow down enemies, trip mines, turrets, that kind of stuff. And then you pick up consumables. It's got quite a bit. I mean, we spent, I don't know how much time this weekend playing it, but we barely got through a couple of levels. It was a couple of rundown, one level A, and we got into level B, and it's difficult. There's plenty of times that I'm glad they put in. My biggest thing that I'm glad they put in was the checkpoints, because there was no checkpoints when we played. I don't know how you could do this thing without checkpoints, because we have not made a single run through. We didn't die at least once or a couple times, So especially when you run into a new enemy type and you're like, what's that thing do? Oh, that's what he does. And we died, So it's really good. It needs a lot. You need coordination. You need lots of players. Bots just can't make up for a coordinated team effort, especially when you're going to go in and try to 4 melee kill 4 of those little sleepers is what they call them. There's different types. Really great game, really hard game, lots of team coordination. And you need a lot of time, in my opinion, to run through a map, because, I don't know. I think we took 2 hours to get through Zone B, the first section of Zone B. And I'm like, that's a long time. That's almost like back in the WoW days of WoW raid times. We need everybody to be available for 2 hours so we can make it through this sector,
It's almost like that in here. Like you're saying, you do need a lot of time to get through these rundowns, because they're long. They can be very long and take quite a while to get through them.
Right.
They have they're multiple part too, kind of in a sense. There's several things you got to do. I think one of the cool things too is when you're on the map, you come across these consoles, and it acts as though you're in command prompt basically, and you can ping the different items and stuff, and you kind of use some, in a sense, deductive work to figure out where the item is by using these consoles. One of the cool things I like too about this game, which early access had this as well, is that when you go to the map screen, everybody can go to the map screen and see everyone's cursor. So you can mark things or circle things, because you can draw in there. And you can say, hey, we need to go to this door, or we need to go down this way. Or you can kind of map out as a team, all looking at the map together with your own cursors and your own pins basically to write what you want to do. Exactly like Patrick said, even in playing, if you're going to matchmake with other people, you need to be able to matchmake with people that you can talk to and communicate with, because it's not one of those games where you can just join up with people and not talk and play, because you're not going to make it very far.
Yeah. Because as Nick was saying, in parts of it, it says, hey, you need to go retrieve this piece of equipment. And you're like, all right, where the heck is this equipment at? And you find a console and you query it. It's like, it's at sector 80, and you're like, okay, how do we get to sector 80? And you're looking on your map and you're like, okay, I'm in 74. What's the route to 80? And you're looking at all the doors and you can't see all the maps. So you're like, okay, that door says that one's 77 and that one's 76. Which one are we going to try? So you go up to the door and it says, oh, you need a key for this door. So you got to go find the console again and query the key. And it says, oh, that key for this is back one level further back. And you're like, oh, you get in the sector, you ping it, and it says, oh, that's in 74E. So you're looking on the map to try to go through 74E, all while avoiding enemies or taking them out along the way. And there's boxes that have loot in them. There's security doors, and and all these security locks make noises if you fail them, and so that brings all the enemies to you. And then there's security doors that are just like, you're about to go through some crap, because it's like, this is a level 3 security door, and you're like, all right, that's bad news. That means it's going to set off an alarm, so all the baddies are going to come. So it's really cool because it doesn't. Because you think about it, if you try to stealth through the whole game, it's impossible because of those security doors. The security doors are the oh crap, stuff is just going to come running, so we have to post up and be ready for them. So it's got quite a bit of that kind of stuff in there, and the gunplay is pretty decent. There are times when I thought it was a little bit sloppy. It wasn't on point. There is no way to turn off team damage, so you go around not paying attention where your friends are. You're going to pop them in the head and take them out.
Yeah, I think there were some guns I liked and some I didn't. When it comes to the gunplay, there were certain guns that I really liked and I liked the way they worked, and other ones I didn't. And that's another thing too about this game that does make it difficult. You are limited on ammo. You're limited on everything really, and replenishing that ammo stock or replenishing your tools like the sentry gun or the foam launcher or the mines, your health, all this stuff is like good luck coming across it. Like Pat says, they're containers, but you might get a container with something like glow sticks in it, and you're like, well, that's cool if it's dark, because the glow sticks, unlike the flashlight, don't make the bad guys active. But I don't need glow sticks right now. I need a med kit, right? And when you do get the med kit, it also comes with, and all these other things, it also ammo packs and stuff. It also comes with that teamwork aspect, because you go, okay, who needs this? And you can actually see above their heads the readout of how much health they have, how much ammo they have, how much ammo their tool has, and all that stuff. So you can kind of coordinate. Again, that's another thing where you don't just take it for yourself. You want to coordinate with your team and see who has the lowest so you can replenish them. Because if you replenish yourself the whole time, your other teammates, they're just going to keep dying off and you're going to lose. So you have to make sure whoever has the lowest health gets that health back. Otherwise, it's game over.
Right. Yep. So, it's another one of those games with like weak spots, enemies glow weak spots, and things like that. So it's a lot of stealth and a lot of coordination, as we've said over and over and over again. And it really is. So, there's just so much teamwork that has to, there's plenty of times where we're stopping right before we're like, oh, this is a security door. The alarm's going to set off. All right. Do we got any doors we can shut along the path to slow them down, because they have to bust to the doors because they can't open the doors. And we're going to set some mines down. We're going to set some turrets down, try to create some crossfire. And there's a lot of planning just to screw yourself up. There's plenty of times where we planned poorly, because when the security zones popped up that y'all have to stand in, it was like in the crossfire of our turrets. And guess what? The turrets just mowed everybody down because they were standing right in the line of fire between the bad guys and the turret. But we're trying to get the security zone trip, because you have to all stand in this little security circle while a timer counts down. And then depending on the security level, it splits and goes in other places in the room and you have to stand on. So lots of things to learn and play around with. And the story has been kind of interesting, not to give anything away, but like I said, you're all prisoners and the warden's sending you down to do all this stuff. And there's like weird stuff going on, and, it shifts from one area to the other instantaneously and cool stuff like that. If you like FPS games and you like horror games, I'm not a big horror game fan, but this isn't that scary to me. It's all just, it's all just coordination and dark. And the least thing I hate about this game, it adds a great mechanic to the game, but I hate fog. I'm just going to say I hate fog, because you can't see jack even with your flashlight on, and it's easy to run into enemies. That's probably my least favorite aspect of the game, but it adds that layer of difficulty to the situation, because I don't know how many times it's been super foggy and you can't shine your flashlight on the enemies because it immediately wakes them up. Whereas if you're running around in the dark, you can pretty much crawl up on them and smack them in the face with your melee weapon. But fog makes it really hard for that. You're always crawling around in the dark. You're like, where's my teammates at? All you can see is a little colored icon. You're like, he's way the hell over there. Oh, crap. How do I get over there, So.
Yeah, the fog. Even if you turn your flashlight off in the fog, you can't see anything. All you can see is the fog in front of you. So, but they do give you these little consumables that you can find, fog dispensers or whatever, or fog fans or something like that. That'll get rid of it for a short period of time. So it'll suck up all the fog in a little area, a pretty decent sized area, but in a small area. But it's limited, because after a while the fog will come back and you have to throw another one out.
Right. So like I said, there's tons to do in this game. We put so many hours into it and not gotten very far. Like I said, I think there's currently in the current rundown, there is A, B, C, D. So there are 10 expeditions to run. And I believe in like the one that came out in June, there was A, B, C, D, and E, which had like 13 total expeditions. So it sounds like they're going to rotate expeditions out as time goes on. It's kind of a way to keep the game fresh and stuff for people, and probably just add more enemies and stuff like that as time goes on. Because I mean, it's been in early access for like 2 years now. I think it got an award back in like 2020 last year. It got the best game you suck at award in Steam last year. So I would admit that I suck at it. But it is to be expected. There's plenty of times where I'm down and the bot's picking me up or Nick's picking me up. And then, we're just getting in a crappy, hairy situation where you're just, hopefully we got a checkpoint that wasn't too far off, because sometimes the checkpoints are really far off between where you get to go. And you may explore a whole map and the checkpoint is back at a door you got to kick off, and you open the entire map up and come back to the door to start the scenario, and you didn't have any saves because the checkpoint's not until you clear the security zone. So it's a good game. I recommend that if you like this kind of game, that you get it, especially if you have you and 3 other friends, because you can't go wrong if you like stuff like this. Like, we're big co-op fans, and that's why it was right up our alley. So, Nick,
Yep.
Anything else you want to put out on this one? Anything you like or dislike before we wrap this one up?
No, there's really nothing I dislike about it. I guess I'm with you, the fog, and that's just because the fog sucks. But other than that, because you can't see anything. But other than that, yeah, I really enjoy this game. I think it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun playing it. It's not one that I get bored with. Like, even if we die, I'm okay going through it again, because it's just a lot of fun. Like the the containers. I know some things are shifted around. So I think definitely enemies are, you might open a door and there's one enemy one time and you open it again and it's 10 enemies. I think items are shifted around. I'm not sure if containers are. I don't know if they're in the same spots or not, but definitely what's in them is shifted around. So you might think, oh, a health pack was in this one last time. Well, now it's a pack of glow sticks or something. So you're like, oh. But yeah, I would highly recommend this game. If you like co-op, if you like that first-person shooter kind of horror stealthy aspect, this is definitely a game to pick up. And right now it is on sale on Steam. So perfect time to pick it up and play with your friends. And yeah, it's highly recommended, I would say.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's normally $39.99, so it's not that expensive a game to begin with, and it's 25% off due to their out of early access, and the Steam Christmas sale's right around the corner. So you might want to get in and check that out as well, because it may be even cheaper. So you can get, like I said, 25% off right now. So right now on Steam it's $29.99, but when it goes back up to regular price, it's $39.99. So I would buy this at a $40 price point. I can't remember what we got it for because we bought it in early access when it first came out. But it's got
it might have been on sale for early access. Or
I think it was too.
Okay.
Yeah. It may have only been like 20 or 25 or something like that. But, you can fully customize your character. As you progress through the levels, you get more armor or more skin. I shouldn't say armor. You get more different skins for your head and your chest and things like that, and your mask that kind of changes how you appear, so you don't appear like all the rest of your team. And it seems to be pretty random on what it hands out, because there's plenty of times where Nick's got a helmet and I'm like, I got a vest again, That's
all I've gotten are helmets.
I haven't gotten
anything else.
I've got no pants or no helmet. I just got a bunch of different vests, and I'm like, okay. So I'm getting vests, Nick's getting helmets. Maybe one of these days it'll flip flop and we'll start getting the other stuff. And then there's like color, skin colors for it and stuff like that. So you change the color of your jackets and stuff like that. So if you're in the vein like Back 4 Blood, Hunt, Left 4 Dead type stuff, this is kind of right up that alley. It's a lot more difficult than the Back 4 Blood and Left 4 Dead series. I would probably put it's a little bit more difficult than Hunt, but there's not that PvP aspect of it. So it's all PvE at this point. It's gotten quite a bit of nominations and awards, so check it out on Steam or wherever you like to get your PC games.
And I've heard that I don't remember if I've read it on their FAQ or something like that, but it does sound like they have plans on it coming to console at some point. I think this game would play perfectly fine on consoles. It's practically just a first-person shooter, so it would work perfect with a controller. And I think right now you can actually play it with a controller. So if you want to play on PC, I think you can configure it with controller. So who knows when that's going to happen? It might be another year from now or so, but there are plans in the works, or at least they're talking about plans to eventually have it come to a console. So
right, yep, yeah, it has partial controller support on Steam, so it doesn't list full, but it lists partial. I play with keyboard and mouse. It's just what I'm used to. So, yep, I recommend it. Nick recommends it. So, and you know, and if Shane was here, he'd recommend it. He played quite a bit with us too. So, you know, let us know what you think. Is this your kind of game? Have you played this one? Let us know. And if you've beaten it, I would really like to know. If you've beaten the 1.0, I'd really like to know, because I don't know how you have that much time since it just came out. It just, like, I'm literally just came out. And we put in quite a few hours in, and we barely scratched the surface of it. We only gotten through like 2, starting on the 3rd mission out of 10. And so, and we've died a lot though. So the game you love to hate because you die so much. All right. Anything else, Nick?
No. I think that's good. Pick it up now. Go pick it up. Go play it. It's fun.
Go pick it up. Yep. All right. Well, like I said, make sure you drop us a line. Let us know if you beat it or not. And don't forget to make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and share this stuff. Let your friends know, hey, these guys recommended this game for 4-player co-op. I got myself and 3 buddies. Let's give it a shot. And then let us know what you think. All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to catch you in the next one. See you later.